Konnichiwa. Today is October 29th, 2020, and this is your digital recap for today's Magnet students in Ms. Perdomo's Digital Academy classroom. So today is Thursday, and we had our morning meeting this morning where we go over what are we working on for the day, as well as what are we working on for the week, and we also have a question of the day that they respond to as well. After our morning meeting, we were able to see the morning announcements on the Steamer News Network, which we were so excited to see both of our classmates today, Arav and Kaina, both on the news. Later then today, during 8 to 9, we went over a quick mini lesson for Florida Ready on how to use a dictionary or a glossary. That's because this week we're focusing on language. We've already talked about context clues. We've talked about Greek and Latin root word parts, and now we're talking about how to use a dictionary and a glossary, all because of that language part of making sure that we understand how to figure out a word that we don't understand. We then showcased some Esperanza Rising creative projects. These were assigned as early as Friday of last week. I previewed them with the students, and then on Monday I gave them time on Tuesday and Wednesday to work on these projects, and then today was the day that they were due and we presented them. They had 3 choices. They could either create a suitcase with 5 items that Esperanza would need on her travels from Mexico to America. They could have made that in person by making a suitcase like a student made theirs out of construction paper and tape. Or they could have used items around the house to make a bag and put the items inside of it, but they needed a luggage tag that said 5 items and why those 5 items were included in the suitcase. And that was the first choice. The second choice was a recipe that needed to include 5 real food items and 5 non-food items for a recipe that would nourish both Esperanza and her mother in their travels and while they're in America. And then the third and final choice was an I am poem from the perspective of Esperanza with a collage. And so those 3 choices the students got to work on throughout the week, and then today we got to see some of their projects. That was a graded activity that will go into quarter 1 in Skyward as a classwork grade. The students that didn't complete it still have time to complete it, so they can just hand it in early or send it to me. They can submit it on Canvas or they can submit it through email to me. If they're finished with their work early, I'm pushing them to get onto Achieve 3000 because that's what's going to increase their reading level so that they're going to be more successful at reading, not only for FSA, but in middle school and high school texts. We want to increase their reading ability, and this is the most scientific and research-based way that we can do that is through Achieve 3000. And then during our writing time, we went over cursive. We went over all the letters so far that we have learned this school year, capital and lowercase, and then we put them together in a couple different words just to get that cursive practice. And then I gave them the remainder of their time to work on their essay, which is due tomorrow. Again, that essay is about how Esperanza has changed throughout the story. Then during their lunchtime from 9:45 to 10:15, that's on their own. They had art with Mr. Castronovo from 10:15 to 11. And then from 11 to 11:30 was homeroom PE time. During our 11:30 to 12:30 time, we have been working real hard in 5th grade, understanding the patterns of when we multiply a decimal by powers of 10, or when we multiply a decimal by a decimal. And so we're going over moving to the right, moving to the left, and when the comma or when the period is going to be moving, specifically that decimal point. So we've been practicing that, and we spent the whole 30 minutes on Zoom going over that. I gave them the next 30 minutes, no homework, but they needed to get onto iStation for 20 minutes, and then they needed to get on to iExcel or Prodigy for 10 minutes because they need to build that math fluency. They need to feel stronger when it comes to math, especially in the area of multiplication. My 6th graders are still reviewing Unit 2, which has been all about multiplication and fractions and decimals and division and word problems, and we just want to make sure that they are really strong when it comes to that so I can give them that unit test next week and we can move on to rates, proportionality, and percents. There was no homework for either of my math classes today, and there will be no homework for tomorrow because it's a Friday. We did have a brain break where we did red herrings during that time, which is always fun because those are stories that have holes in them that are incomplete. And the only way to really figure out what the whole story is by asking critical questions. So the students really have to work on their questioning ability, which is a real critical thinking skill that they need to work on. Then during our 12:45 to 1:45 time, students were working inside of their textbooks. Even though there was a link on Canvas, the Canvas just told them what pages to go to in their textbook. So we focused on the unit benchmark review for Unit 4 for weather, climate, and the water cycle. They had time on their own to work on those problems, and then they came back into the Zoom at 1:20, and we went over all of the answers to those problems to make sure that they understood what the correct answers were. Our science benchmark tests are open book tests and open notes. So you want to make sure that in the review you've answered those questions correctly, or at least when we go over the answers, to change them to the correct answers so you can use them as a guide when you take your benchmark test next week. And then at the very end of the day, we had some we filled out our planner, and then we also had some presentations. We had three more presentations from the creative projects for Esperanza Rising that we saw that afternoon. Now, one other thing to consider is always I'm being asked about extra credit, that in the Esperanza Rising activity for the creative projects, you only had to do one project. But if you chose to do more, let's say, for example, you did the suitcase, but then you wanted to also do a recipe, that recipe would count as 20 extra credit points for you in ELA, which a lot of people get frustrated because they want to use their spelling extra credit for other ELA grades, but I give ELA extra credit so that can go towards tests and classwork assignments and quizzes and so forth. So it's getting close to the end of the quarter. Check Skyward. Look, I put in when assignments are missing, and when after a week they haven't been turned in, I put them in as the lowest possible grade that I'm willing to give them, which is a 60%. That's me showing grace and compassion. And then after that, they have until the end of the quarter to still give me that work, and I will put it in as full percentage. I won't even count it off with late points. But they've got to make sure that they're checking their grades. So please take the time to do so, because the quarter's coming to an end quickly, and I want to make sure that they're happy and confident with the grades that they're going to get. I know digital learning is not for everybody, and that's why some of them are not getting great grades, because even though I give them the assignment and I give them the time to do it, I monitor on Canvas and I can see that some of them are just not signing into Canvas and they're not doing the work when it's assigned. There are quizzes that I put up for them to do that students just don't do them. And then the second day I put them up again for students to do them. I remind those students who they are and that they need to do it, and they still don't do it. So a lot of these grades are representative because they're not taking the responsibility to get the work done. And then they're waiting and they're not asking for assistance. They're not asking for help. And so those grades really are a reflection of somebody who is being reactive and not taking ownership of their learning, which is so important in 5th grade. As they go on to middle school and high school, a lot of their learning is going to be digital. And so this should be preparing them for that. If they can't handle this now, that's not a good sign for how they're going to do in middle school and high school. So now's a good time to sit down and have that conversation about, well, what is it that's going wrong? What can I do to assist you? And what can Ms. Perdomo do to assist you so that we can make sure that you're going to be as successful as possible in 5th grade Digital Academy? I want to thank you again for watching this recap, and I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you again tomorrow.